Hello everyone. Thank the Lord for another day today. I'm back in the kitchen finishing off my dinner that I started last night for today. So I'm going to go ahead and make my cornbread. Then I'm going to finish off my cabbage, my roast. Came out really good last night. It's all prepared in the fridge, getting ready for dinner. So this is Cooking with Churchgirl. Thanking God for another day. So let's get started. I don't have much to do. I'm just going to make a quick pan of cornbread, make some more fresh brown rice, and I'm going to do my cabbage. So let's get started here. I don't use Jiffy Mix much. However, I do have a box of Jiffy Mix, so I'm not going to use it. Sometimes I just add it to my cornmeal batter just to get rid of it, because my husband don't care for Jiffy Mix. So that means Church Girl have to make everything from scratch. I have my oil in the oven there, Crisco oil melting off. That's gonna go in my cornmeal batter, and I think I need to put it on the lower rack so it can go on the melt. I'm gonna pour this oil over into my cornmeal batter, and I think I'm gonna take a little bit of that out. Looks like I have too much, so I think I'm gonna take a little bit out, and I'll just add this to my cabbage here. Look like I have a little bit, because I'm just I pretty much know how much oil I want. It just depends on how much cornbread I'm making. Take that out. So I have a cup and a half of cornmeal here. Then I'm gonna have a half a cup of flour. I'm gonna go add a half a cup of flour. I don't like my cornbread to taste floury, but I do want it to be nice and soft and fluffy. So then I'm gonna go ahead and add a teaspoon of baking powder. I have measuring spoons over there, but I just use this because I know about how much I want to use. If you use a measuring spoon, go ahead and put you about a teaspoon baking powder. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in my nice egg here. Over in my batter there, in my flour and cornmeal. Now remember, when you're cracking your eggs, don't do what you just saw me do. Unless you know that egg is really fresh. Always crack your egg in another container just to make certain that that egg is not bad, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and get my oil out of this oven. And I'm going to add it straight over to my get ready to add it straight over to my mixture there. Just let it sit there for one more second. And I'll go ahead and add some milk. I normally use buttermilk, but since I don't have buttermilk, I'm just going to use what I have, which is 2% milk. Then you're just going to stir this all up, and then I'm going to kind of mix that egg up a little bit, break it down, because I don't want that oil, the hot oil, to cook that egg. I'm going to go in now and get my hot oil out of the oven here. And I'm going to add it straight over to my cornmeal and my flour mixture. And I have about a teaspoon of baking soda in there. You can add a pinch of salt if you want to. I think I will add just a pinch of salt. I don't normally add salt because my hubby does, and I don't eat a lot of salt. But it's not going to hurt the cornbread, but just put just a pinch, because all it's going to do is balance it out. Because I'm going to be adding a little bit of honey to my cornbread batter, my cornbread mixture here. Mix all this up. I'm going to add my milk. I don't have any buttermilk, so if you don't have buttermilk, use what you have. Now, if you have regular milk and you want to make your buttermilk, put you about a tablespoonful of vinegar and mix it in with your regular milk, and then you have you some buttermilk, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead here and pour right in this oil straight from my cooking dish. This is warm oil. And I'm going to just pour it right over into my cornmeal mixture here, just like so. And mix all of this up together really well. I whip all of this up really good. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to add just a little bit of honey. If I was measuring this honey, I would use about 1/4 of a cup of honey. But I'm just going to eyeball it because I kind of know how much I want in here. I don't want it really, really sweet, but I do want to have a nice taste. And the honey makes the cornbread really, really good because I don't want to use raw sugar, so I'm using honey. And it makes the cornbread taste really, really good. Now, that's all it is to it. 1 egg, a teaspoon of baking powder, 2½ cups of cornmeal, 2 cups of cornmeal, 1/2 cup of flour. It's actually what I use in my cornbread batter. Just like so. I'm just going to cook it off in the oven here. I'm just going to put that little bit of milk there because it's not enough to save. Now I'm just going to put this right over in the oven and let it bake up. I like my cornbread, but I don't like it to be too thin, and I don't like it to be too stiff, too thick. Okay, if I want it to rise more, I could add a little bit more of baking powder. That's because if I want that cornbread to rise more, I just add a little bit more baking powder. So there you have it. Churchgirl is making up homemade cornbread batter. Now I'm going to go right ahead now and just put it right over into my cooking dish here. And if the cornbread is not as loose as you want it, continue to add your milk, or you can add a little water. Just like so. I think that's good enough. It's not too loose and not too thick. If I don't think it's thin enough, I'll go ahead and I'll add a tiny bit of water. And I think I will add just a pinch of water. I don't want to add any more milk. Now, if I had buttermilk, I would really thin my buttermilk down. I have 1/2 cup of buttermilk and I have 1/2 cup of water. Because buttermilk can make my bread kind of strong and I don't like it too strong. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. I just want to loosen it up just a little bit. I didn't want it to be too thin, too stiff. Just the right texture here. Just like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this straight over in the oven. And I'm going to show you guys what my cornbread look like as soon as it come out of the oven. Just like so. I'll make sure I get all my batter out, like my mom always say. Don't leave none of that goodness in that bowl, Trisha Ann. Get it all out. There you have it. I'm going to go ahead and get this straight over in the oven here. Always be careful if you not have no mittens. Make sure you use something that can hold get this cornbread right over in the oven. And I'm going to bake it off on the second rack. I'm going to put it on the second rack. And just move it down on the second rack at 350 degrees. I'll put it on the second rack. I'm going to bake my cornbread off at 350 for about 30 minutes. And I'll show you the finished product of my cornbread when it's finished. Hi everyone, this is Churchgirl. I have my cornbread in the oven now. And now I'm going to go ahead and stick some small sweet potatoes in the oven with my cornbread. I'm just finishing off my dinner that I started last night. This is Cooking with Churchgirl. Thank the Lord for another day. I already washed up my 3 small potatoes and I washed them up really good and dry them off. And before I bake them, I always rub a little bit of oil on my skin of my potato. Just a little tiny bit. Doesn't take but a drop. And then that'll be enough for all my potatoes. Then I'm going to go ahead and stick these right over in the oven. I like to wash them off really good. Then I rub them down with a thin layer of oil. Any type of oil will do. Olive oil or whatever kind of oil you use if you bake sweet potatoes. They're very good. Baked in the oven with my dinner. I already put my cornbread in there. I'm going to take a peek at it. And I'm going to go ahead and also put these sweet potatoes right on the next rack. My cornbread seems to be baking off really good. I just put it in there a few minutes ago, so it's not ready yet, but it's baking off. And I went ahead and put it in my sweet potatoes. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get my cabbage ready, but I'll show you my cornbread as soon as it's complete. Okay, I'm back now, cutting up my cabbage here, and then I'm gonna put it right over in this little bacon. I fried up just 2 little pieces of bacon, and I'm gonna finish cutting up my cabbage just like so. I washed my cabbage real good, and I cut it in half, and then I just cut it up just like this. I've never been real good at cutting up cabbages, so, but this is how I do it. Okay, I cut this core out. Take a smaller knife here. I cut that core out. I don't put that in my cabbage. I cut that away, just like so. Put that aside. Then I just turn my cabbage over just like this, and I just start cutting it up, just like this. I guess there's no certain way, but this is the way I cut my cabbage up. Then I go back and I cut it in half, just like that. And if there's a little core on there, I just cut that core out. Some people cook all that. I didn't cook that core because it's a little tough. Once I cut it like down the side, then I go back, cut this core out, and then I cut it in half, just like so. Okay, now I'm going to go away and finish cutting up all my cabbage. And I'm going to get it right over in my pot here. All my cabbage is cut up now. I'll go right ahead and put my cabbage over in my little fried bacon that I fried up. I fried up a little bit of bacon. And sometimes I don't even fry bacon. I just put a little butter in my cabbage. But today, I fried up a little bacon, 2 pieces of bacon, and have my cabbage all cut up just like so. And I'm not gonna add water to my cabbage. I have just a little bit of water already in the base of my pan here. And you don't want to drown your cabbage in water because cabbage tend to make water. It's a high water content already, so it doesn't take much water. Just cutting this up because this could be a little thick. And so you do not want to drown your cabbage in a lot of water. Now I'm going to cover this cabbage. I'm going to go ahead and cover this cabbage and let it do its thing. And I'm going to cut up some Trinity, some red bell peppers, and green and orange bell peppers because I like bell peppers in my cabbage. Then I'll come back in a little bit and we'll see how it's doing. All my cabbage is cut up now. I'll go right ahead and put my cabbage over in my little fried bacon that I fried up. I fried up a little bit of bacon. And sometimes I don't even fry bacon. I just put a little butter in my cabbage. But today, I fried up a little bacon, 2 pieces of bacon, and have my cabbage all cut up just like so. And I'm not going to add water to my cabbage. I have just a little bit of water already in the base of my pan here. And you don't want to drown your cabbage in water because cabbage tend to make water. It's a high water content already, so it doesn't take much water. Just cutting this up because this could be a little thick. And so you do not want to drown your cabbage in a lot of water. Now I'm going to cover this cabbage. I'm going to go ahead and cover this cabbage and let it do its thing. And I'm going to cut up some Trinity, some red bell peppers, and green and orange bell peppers because I like bell peppers in my cabbage. Then I'll come back in a little bit and we'll see how it's doing.